Nicola is somebody that I've actually known for a number of years and has always done really interesting things in her teaching, and actually teaches a lot of transversal skills already within her course, and actually focuses on feedback quite a lot. But her students were completely getting all of the learning outcomes around the very complicated aspect of feedback. And so we went through several different iterations with different tangibles and slightly different learning outcomes to really figure out exactly where the biggest pain point for students was about feedback. And that actually was the emotional self-management. That when we told students, okay, you're going to need to be paying attention and preparing some feedback for your peer, they said, yeah, I can do that. That's a very analytical thing. I've got an analytical mind. I can see the problems. And then when we said, okay, you're going to have a discussion, you need to tell someone else, they went, oh, I don't think I'd like to do that. That might be difficult. Yes, exactly. And that's exactly why we want to do this activity, because that's the part that's challenging. Well, not for everybody, but we've got feedback from our students that that's a particularly challenging point for them, is leaving what feels really logical and analytical to moving to the emotional.
You use the box to build the fastest marble run that crosses at least 20 white tiles and uses no more than 16 black and grey links.
The lesson for today was about providing feedback, knowing how to provide and to receive feedback. And for that we decided to use a tangible called Gravitrax, so that students could, in a challenging type of situation or activity where they were under time pressure, they had to compete against each other, and they had sort of a complex tool. They had to build a marble track. And the idea behind this is to create enough challenge so that they would feel the emotion that goes around participating in an activity. So some would take the lead, some would feel included, some would feel excluded, some would try and say something and that they weren't heard. And so it's not so much about the activity itself, but it's about the emotion that we feel when we're in a team and we participate in an activity. And then what they were asked to do is to provide each other with feedback on how they felt and take notes about that, so that they get more self-awareness and they practice the art of receiving and giving feedback.
So the idea very much came from Nicola, and then through several iterations of going back and forth about the learning outcomes, about the activity, about the pieces, coming to this point of really focusing on something that is an important learning outcome that isn't addressed often in students' courses, that students can really see the value in, and they get that lived experience of that feedback moment.
Well, I would say it's an important skill for anybody, and any student, anybody, and then any student, not only engineering. But I would say that in engineering, we focus more, there's a tendency to focus more on the technical skills and not so much on the managerial skills. But when you enter into when you get a job, when you have to manage technical teams, even if they're technical teams, when you have to manage teams, you need to know how to communicate. And feedback is one of the communication skills.
We don't need a slow. I think it's gonna.
Demonstrate there.
Engineering students will in the workplace be part of teams, or they'll be managing teams, and being able to provide constructive feedback to help the other person grow, to take corrective action, perhaps on a task that they accomplish, on a behavior that they have, will increase the team performance and increase their management skills.